Coming to you live from Geek Elite Studios in DeSoto, Texas. King David Reeves and MentorConnector podcast present another mentor moment. Great day, great mentors. Rise and grind. It's time to shine. Welcome to another episode of Geek Elite's Esports Masterclass with your host, King David Reeves, MentorConnector podcast. We have another very special guest here today. Another hugely impactful figure in the community. Young brother doing great work out here and truly doesn't need introduction because I would have to list too many of his resume. What's the word I'm looking for? He got a lot of different areas he's impacting the community. But right now, we're here to talk about this Census 2020, man. And he's doing some hugely impactful work both locally with that as well as nationally. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome to the show today none other than Mr. Sean Reed, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Give him a round of applause. Yeah.
Thank you
Welcome.
for the introduction. Thank you for inviting me here.
Pleasure, brother.
Make it big
Appreciate
in
you.
life. I definitely need you to introduce me everywhere I go because you have like the voice. Like
Hey,
if this doesn't work out and you need a second line of income or probably a fourth line of income, I think introducing people is another business adventure you can explore and be successful in.
I take that seriously, man. I'm gonna really take that. People been telling me for years I need to be on radio. I was like, introduce me.
Not even radio. Just
Yeah.
introducing people, like
Boy.
at balls and galas and speeches and
Hey.
big events. You just do an introduction.
That's real. I have had somebody pay me for setting up their voicemail for them. Like,
Oh yeah.
Get all kind of weird offers, man. I'm down, brother, and especially as connected as you are, man. Just let me know when it happens.
Yeah, I can connect with you, just didn't pay
somebody.
me, so I'll let you know.
Hey, coming soon, though, man. Coming soon, man. Well, thank you for coming on the show today, brother, and truly appreciate all you're doing out here in the community, man. I see you work, and I see the grind, both on social media and on the ground in person. I've seen you out here putting in a lot of work, and I just want people to know why you're so passionate about the work you're doing right now with the census, especially. I know it's a lot of other things. There are definitely a lot of other things that you're working on. Because people who know you know. Well, Sean's still working, and he got his hands in a lot of different things and wears many hats. And I think you're wearing pretty well, brother. But I know you definitely want to focus in on Census 2020 for this episode. So, before we dive into that, let the people know a little bit about Sean Reed, man, your background. Where you from, man? What did it take to make you who you are today, brother? How'd you get here?
Well, so I'm from Dallas. I'm from Pleasant Grove.
Greedy Grove.
Yeah. A
Oh.
lot of people in the community that do work that's from Pleasant Grove that's really getting the attention that they need to.
Facts. Hey, I do want to shout out. I did have Carla Garcia on here. So did interview
Pleasant Grove area for Dallas ISD. She's doing great work as well.
Absolutely. So shout out to her.
An area in Dallas that needs a lot of attention. It used to be called the Forgotten City of Dallas, or the Forgotten Area of Dallas, and I think we need to do a lot more work to strengthen that community and build that community up. But
wait. How are they forgetting y'all? And Carla was telling me there's over like at least 100,000 people in the Pleasant Grove.
It's growing, but when you see the development that's happening across the city, and you see all the initiatives and programs, it's not as much of it in Pleasant Grove. And even from a social community nonprofit perspective, a lot of organizations that do work traditionally do the work in South Dallas proper or in Oak Cliff. For some reason, Pleasant Grove doesn't have that same appeal that the other communities in the southern region or southern sector of Dallas has.
Good point. I feel like it's getting there though, man, because they're seeing that opportunity there. And I know again, Carla was mentioning how we were talking as it relates to esports and the amount of interest that came out of Pleasant Grove for esports was almost unprecedented. As far as the number of students in Dallas ISD that were interested in it. So it's definitely ripe for opportunity, man. So can you hear me still?
You cutting in and out. It's like I'm
Okay.
hearing every other word. I'm trying to listen at the same time. We're talking about esports in Pleasant Grove,
Damn.
but you cutting in and out.
Yeah. That's why, cause I'm hearing an echo on my end. But we hopefully get edit this part out. But we keep it moving.
We can push through it.
Yeah, man. So it's just, man, I feel like there's a lot of opportunity and promise coming out of Pleasant Grove, and there's a lot of great people. Like I said, Carla, but Jaime Resendez also, man, another good brother.
Yeah.
Okay,
Xavier
it's not
Henderson.
echoing
There's a lot
anymore.
of people that come out of Pleasant Grove is doing great work. But it's all about community development, adding value to the community, bringing more to it than it was when you were in it. So, like, that's what I'm trying to do, not only in Pleasant Grove, but in Oak Cliff and in South Dallas and communities that's all Southern Dallas, and some communities that's Northern Dallas. There's communities in North Dallas that need the same attention that communities in South Dallas need too. So.
I do some good mentoring around North Dallas projects with Behind Every Door. Shout out them. Yeah, there's a lot of work to be done all over. So thank you for being one of those torchbearers taking on that task, man. You definitely out here in these streets.
Thank you. In a good way, though. In a good way.
Yeah.
Or at least in the daytime, in a good way.
Right.
Yeah.
Staying in the streets in the right way.
Right. If you see me,
The right side of the street.
Don't record me.
Say off the record. Man, but what? So you grew up in Pleasant Grove. What schools did you go to, and everything like what?
Yeah, I went all my life. I guess growing up through the school system, back and forth from Pleasant Grove to Oak Cliff. So I had some time in Oak Cliff too. So I started out in Mark Twain, which is in Oak Cliff.
Yeah.
Then I kind of moved around a lot. So then I went to SS Corner, which is back in Pleasant Grove. Then I went to Edna Rowe. Then I went to Blanton for the longest period of my elementary years, like third grade to sixth grade. Then I went to John B. Hood for like 6 weeks.
Now Piedmont Global now.
It's Piedmont now, but known as John B. Hood.
Yeah, it's gonna be Hood forever.
Yeah. Second part of that semester, I transferred on a hardship and ended up going into like the Law Academy of Atwell. Stayed at Atwell for the rest of my 7th grade year, 8th grade year, until I went to high school, Skyline High School, Advanced Science Cluster. Then finished out there.
Skyline Raider it is, huh?
Yes, sir.
Man, y'all have a strong network, man. Y'all have a strong alumni network, man.
Yeah, a lot of great people come from Skyline.
Absolutely, including yourself, man.
Including
yourself.
Sure.
Definitely, man. So you definitely are a legitimate Dallas ISD product, is what you're saying.
Oh yes, sure.
So then for you, it's hugely important for you to give back to Dallas.
Yes, sir.
So would you say that's kind of the main reason for your motivation, your passion for what?
Yeah, for sure. Being from Dallas, like I said, being from this community and seeing the community that I'm from lacking resources and having passion to do things, it didn't make sense for me to go somewhere else. Like outside of college, I had offers and opportunities to go to other cities in Texas or to go outside the state, but I felt called to come back to Dallas and do some work within Dallas and add value here before I decided to branch out and go other places.
Yes, sir.
When I first came back, got involved with my church, started a young adults ministry there called The Crew, Christians Ready, Equipped, and Willing. And we did some mentorship within our own personal congregation and did some volunteerism, some community things. So did that along with joining the Urban League, DFW Urban League professionals.
So you've been a mentor out here in these streets, is what you say?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay,
even in Skyline. So at Skyline, we had this program. What was it called? I want to say it was called. So I was a mentor for freshman orientation, but I was also a PALS mentor. So PALS is a program. Yeah. I'm they true to this, I guess. I've been doing this since high school. So
Good man.
PALS is
Respect.
a program in high schools that high school seniors go
Yes.
to elementary schools or middle schools and just mentor and
Yeah.
tutor kids. So that's when I got my first dose of I suppose true mentorship and
That's
how
powerful, man.
the
It's
effect
powerful.
of someone who's consistent and strong could impact the lives of a younger
So
person.
many. Absolutely, man. And then the same
Also,
thing. Same time
even
you looking for mentors yourself.
oh yeah, for sure. What did you say?
No, no. At the same time, you're looking for mentors yourself. Like
Oh yeah,
you,
yeah,
you start pouring into the younger generation. You realize how important it is for you to, because you learn from them. At the same time as now, you start seeking out more mentorship yourself because you see and feel
exactly.
the impact. So
Exactly. So
definitely.
before then, I didn't have a lot of mentors growing up. I had people I looked up to and who I went to
Okay.
for some level of guidance, but as a relationship defined as a mentor, I don't think I had a lot.
Oh wow, wow. And why do you think that was? Or is it
I
is it
think
that?
I don't think I was just my current surroundings or the surroundings of when I was younger. I wasn't surrounded by a pool of individuals who I would consider like a mentor. I kind of learned from I don't want to call it their mistakes, but I learned for their own life lessons of things not to do.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
even I guess it was some type
Those,
of form of
yeah, I'm
mentorship.
about to say those are the best mentors, man. The best
Yeah.
mentors I've had with ex crackheads, man.
Oh yeah.
So you
Yeah.
got you
And
got
then it's certain people in the community and certain people that my brothers knew who were doing things that they knew I shouldn't have been doing.
right,
And they just
right,
kept
right.
me from that. They were like, now you doing
It's
this,
like
you shouldn't be doing
yeah,
this. Don't do what I do. Like all those type
yeah,
of things.
yeah.
So yeah.
And that's powerful. A lot of times you need that. I call them like sponsors. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
they're looking out for you. They're like, yeah, I'm doing this dirt over here, but you ain't. You got more of a promising future, man. Stay back
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
I
for
got you
sure.
covered. And so from that is that part of the reason why you would say you felt it's important for our minority people to have more of a voice in the community or more of a voice when it comes to politics
Oh
or
yeah.
more of a voice when it comes to representation. Is that kind of why we get into you wanting to dive into the census work or just the
I
path
think it
you've
started
chosen?
there. Seeds were planted at that level, but just knowing more and knowing the need. But I think it's definitely a starting point for sure.
Good stuff, man. And so how have you found yourself? How did you find yourself into this work?
So
Like how'd
let
you
me
how'd you get
dive
into
into how I got into it in the city of Dallas. So originally, a lot of my activism and community work started deeper in college when I joined the NAACP,
Oh yeah,
Chapter
beautiful.
6816. I ended up being a couple chairs there, end up doing vice president and led to president. But from that, I learned what it meant to be an activist and then learned what it meant to be an advocate to transform from activism to advocating for an issue and then being a strategist. And then once I graduated, I knew that I wanted to leave a mark on Dallas and have an impact on Dallas. So I knew I needed to be on the inside of some type of government or some type of board. So one of the first things I did in 2015, 2016 is research all the boards and commissions that the city of Dallas had to offer and which
Wow.
boards were vacant.
Wait. So you just always been involved or interested in politics or policy? Is that something it just
Not,
peaked?
I don't
Is
think
it like how did you
always. I've always been.
like what
I've
triggered that?
See, I'm not really sure. I know in high school I wanted to like I've always been about like helping others and impacting the lives of people and
Right, right.
being helpful. But then that's a broad spectrum. It looks like that's a really broad, thing. So it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
how can I best do that? Where can I have the
Yeah,
most
where-
impact for the
By
work
serving.
that I'm actually, touching? And
Right.
I think with policy and with leadership through elected offices and things, I think we have a direct touch to affecting or having long-term change on a community at different levels.
Absolutely, and it does impact every area and aspect of our lives. Just most people don't realize, and so they don't get involved. Whether it be they don't vote, they don't feel like their representation matters, so they don't get counted, like with the census.
And that's a huge problem of its own. And that's why, a lot of work that I do is educating the youth on the importance of voting, the importance of civic
And
engagement, the importance of the census.
That's
Who's
where it
responsible
starts,
for
definitely.
what, because at the school level, we have teachers and we have programs doing that, but without like civics being a course in the schools, a lot of students are leaving or graduating school systems across the country and not knowing the importance of
Right.
being civically engaged. So it
Right.
takes mentors
So true.
you kind of instill it into the younger generation so that we don't have another whole generation of individuals who don't see the importance of being an active participant in our society.
Bingo. And this is where you change that tide. You got to start with the youth, man. And I'm glad you see and understand the importance of that. And at the same time, you're working with those who are in our generation. I say the millennials especially. And I feel like the Urban League has a great pulse on that, and does a great job of that activism and that community and I say engagement. And I see him out here doing a lot of great work in the community. And what is your role in that in the Urban League? How did that start?
Yeah, in the Dallas-Fort Worth Urban League, I'm the chair of the Civic Engagement and Advocacy Committee. This is my second year doing that. I'm also
so that's why they're doing such great work. You the chair, okay? All right, just putting that out there.
Not just me. I have a strong committee.
Absolutely.
A bunch of devoted and inspired individuals who are just as passionate as me. I think you're only as strong as the people you surround yourself with. So if not for them,
yes, sir.
I think I'll be able to do and have all these accomplishments that I've had because, I need people to help move the work forward.
Absolutely.
So that's what I do with the Urban League. Also on the Complete Count Committee, I forgot to shout out my first mentor post-college, Councilman Casey Thomas.
All right. Shout out Councilman Thomas. We talked about him on the show earlier.
Oh, really?
Because he got to check out Geekly's facilities with his son and was shocked that this was here in DeSoto and he didn't know about it. And I let him know actually it started out downtown in Dallas.
When try to bring it to Dallas to District 3, I'm sure.
Yeah. You already know. So he's talking to Danny Martin about that because he was shocked that he didn't know it was happening in Dallas under his nose because he would have been hopped on the bus in the bandwagon. So shout out Councilman Thomas, great brother, man.
But Councilman Thomas, he appointed me to the Complete Count Committee, where I chair the African American Census Consortium for the Hard to Count, which is basically the Hard to Count community where African Americans reside, coming up with strategic messaging that targets Black people. Coming up with strategy that targets Black people and coming up with a plan to ensure that Black people complete the census.
Oh wow! Yeah, that's got to be a challenge for real, man. I know our people. How has that been?
The strategy part, like I think when you think of a government entity, you think of just something really, really big. But what you don't know is a small group of individuals working on something, and it's very kind of siloed where this group is working on this group is working on this, but it's a small group of people working on one thing.
Doing the real work.
Right. But once we got moving and got some strategy down, got some talking points down, like it kind of was a domino effect on like actually moving the strategy. The hard part is getting it to the people and the places that it needs to go and like kind of executing that strategy. Like it's all on paper. But it makes sense to everybody who was behind it. Shout out to Ed Turner as well.
Ed Turner.
So
Root to the
Turner
good, bro.
Census coordinator for the city of Dallas.
Yeah.
A whole strategic plan that not only Dallas uses, but a lot of neighboring cities use too. So
y'all out here making waves like that. Hold on, because you said Ed Turner created that. So is that what? Because I went to the census, it was a training at State Fair in the Briscoe Carpenter building. Mm-hmm. Now I know Ed was leading that out. You were leading it to BIMNet. Shout out to your president, Urban League and State Fair. What was that? Was the strategic plan, right? What that training was?
Some of that is what he shared. Like it's a whole playbook. There are 4 different committees, a part of the Complete Count Committee. He made a plan month by month, phase by phase.
Wow.
what needs to happen, and Ed comes from a grassroots oriented
Yeah, he does, boy.
So I think it's
And
something that the city hasn't
okay,
seen.
and you
That
just
kind of
dropped
plan.
something on me like it was nothing, but that plan was adopted by neighboring cities and communities as well.
Neighboring cities, like a lot of cities that are in Dallas County or DFW,
Wow.
they got together, and it's no point once something's created. I don't think
Wow.
it's a point to recreate
No, the wheel.
the
Not at
machine,
all.
the wheels. So it was passed along. Cities adopted it. Some cities, shout out to those smaller ones, implemented way better than the city of Dallas did because of other reasons. But it all started with Ed Turner and Casey Thomas and people on the committee adding value.
Yeah,
To the
Casey was
plan.
there as well.
Like it started from Dallas and trickled out.
Wow, that's beautiful, man. It sounds like something similar that you did that trickled out or trickled up to the national level, man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But you
for
can tell
sure.
the people about what happened, how your great ideas and strategies were embraced and adopted on a national
So
level, man.
yeah, so I wouldn't call it all that. I think it was just something simple, and
Too
it just
humble,
made
man.
sense. I think when simple things make sense, it's easy for others to replicate and duplicate the efforts, which is
Absolute.
no big deal because it's all about the actual work and the results of the work, not about whose idea, who did what. But
Yes, sir.
a part of our Urban League strategic plan and what we were going to do as a chapter is, a social media campaign, National Census Day initiatives, and things of that nature. So basically, we had an idea to do once COVID happened, even before,
Yeah.
so we were going to do
COVID.
something
Oh.
online.
Oh, anytime you say COVID, I got to go ahead and remind the people. We are COVID friendly here. We
Yeah,
are
we doing social
COVID compatible. Got the gloves ready. If you cough, you got to leave the building.
Oh, let me
Now
knock
we-
off then. I wake up every morning concerned because
Say.
my throat be dry. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah,
what
right,
is it
right.
today?
We start getting hypersensitive about everything. It's like, oh,
Right. I'm
that's
taking
ain't.
emergency
that's-
vitamin C packs without the water. I'm just trying to make sure I'm good.
Same thing with just a little scratch a few months ago. Now it's like, oh, do I have it? Do I have it?
Right.
But we got to, we're taking the precautions here. So anybody who's trying to do a podcast, it's the place to do it. You see, we're not in the same room. We're definitely
We're
keeping
not.
the 6 feet and then some, as well as all the precautions necessary to stay safe around here. We're not being irresponsible, but the news and information that we have, the people and community need this. What Sean Reed is talking about right now is a necessity. It's definitely essential information because we need to be counted. I don't think people understand how important the census is, and I don't think so because I didn't understand how important the census is, and I was graduating college in 2010 when he was coming out of high school, and I sure didn't remember anybody asking me, was I counted for the census? So now
I know you were 10 years older than me.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Hold on, how many years you say? Hold on.
Probably 10, 11.
Nah, man. You came out in 2010, man.
Yeah, you about to be 40, huh?
Yeah, now. That's why I graduated college, man.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So,
But
so yeah, we had an idea to host a virtual census campaign on Facebook, but then once
Yeah.
COVID happened, we needed to amplify that and make it even like
yeah,
larger.
absolutely.
So, we saw people doing virtual day parties and virtual happy hours and things of that nature. And it was like we can do the same thing, but just incorporate census information, encourage census.
Yeah,
completion.
man.
So originally, I was talking to the other civic engagement chairs of the Urban League in Houston and Austin about potentially doing a joint happy hour or census event or some type of partnership, and
Wow.
trying to organize it in a short amount of time and trying to get our chapter
What
on
was that?
board was
Must have been a
challenging.
nightmare.
And call from our national chair, and she was like, we have a similar idea. I love this idea, and I think it would be easier if the national organization
Just
took
shoot it out.
down
Yep.
to, all the other chapters, and we can
Then everybody got to
expand this.
embrace it.
Yeah, and we can have DJs across the country, and then you can just lead that effort from behind the scenes, from the messaging, and what the layout should be.
Yeah.
It still be large. So that's what we did, and it ended up being like really really great. We had 9 DJs from different pockets of the country going
Man.
live about the census. They had a script of things to say, information to give out. We had
Beautiful,
people
beautiful.
staged. What was that?
I said beautiful, beautiful,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. We had people stage. I had my committee members stage in the comments of the threads of the conversation, asking people as they entered the chat, have they completed the census, engaging in different conversations, coming up with fun things to just really gauge the audience on census completion and census questions and things of that nature. So it was just a really, really fun event and way to not get people out the house, but give people an outside feeling, but also party with a purpose. So that's something we did a lot in college. Party with a purpose.
I like that. Party with a purpose.
That's what we're trying to do.
PWP. Get them out.
We're having a poetry night with Black Canvas.
I did see that out there. I saw that out there. So is it Black Canvas? That's an organization, or is that an artist?
So Black Canvas is a artist group. Poetry, spoken word, singers, and things of that nature.
Dope.
Give a plug to them. Traditionally, when outside was open, as they say, I want to say it's the first
back
Thursday
in the day,
and the third Thursday, or maybe the second Thursday and the fourth Thursday. Just know it's on a Thursday.
So it's like every other Thursday. Every other Thursday.
Open mic night at the Caribbean spot, a Caribbean island off Jefferson Street. And it's just dope poets coming out doing poetry over whatever, singing. And it's just a cool
vibe in general.
Cultural, space to be in. So partnering with them, we got poets doing poems about the government, about the census, about COVID-19.
Wow. So incorporating all of this.
All of it.
Wow.
The Crown Act. I'm not sure if you heard of that. I
The
know
who?
We're talking about the census, but the Crown Act is another Urban League initiative.
The Crown Act is
basically
the Crown Act.
Crown Act, like crown on the head.
Hey man, educate me, my brother, so I can make sure I wear my crown properly.
Yeah, so the Crown Act, it's an initiative with the Urban League, a bunch of social justice organizations like the NAACP, even companies like Dove, and some hair product organizations have been a part of it. But basically, it's an anti hair discrimination law that we're trying to implement in different states around the country. So up until recently, companies, corporations, school boards, any entities had the right to discriminate and remove people based on their hair. So if a company had a policy saying that you couldn't wear, let's say dreads or a certain braid style or something like that, they were just to to discriminate based on hair. So we're bringing in a few states. I don't have the list with me, but in a few states, it's already passed and gained some traction right before COVID. A few people are organizing and helping bring light to it in Texas. So we want to jump ahead of the curve before state legislation cycle opens up and just educate people on what the Crown Act is and what they can do to engage. Encourage people now to think of times they've been discriminated against so they can do public statements when that time comes. So just kind of the education part. So
yeah, man, like you just educated me, man. That blew my mind. I surely thought I knew about that.
I want to say there was a case in Texas where an individual in maybe a middle school was expelled or something because of his hair or something like that.
Yeah, I saw it. And the student that wasn't allowed to graduate, or they were trying not to let graduate.
Right.
They wound up going to the big award show.
Mm-hmm. So, scholarships and all kinds of things. But,
maybe I wasn't paying attention because I lost my crown, man. I ain't got as much hair as I used to on my crown, so.
No.
But now I appreciate you educating me on that, brother. And I definitely want to know how I can get more involved with that, as well as the census in general, man. How can people actually contribute? I guess first of all, we've been talking about, but what is the census? Why is it important? How often does it take place? What is the census that we keep hearing so much about? Why does it even matter?
Okay, so the census is basically a survey that every living person in America should complete once every 10 years. The
Right.
census helps determine how $675 billion of funds are distributed from the federal government to our local governments and to
I saw that in
programs.
I saw that in your video. I saw that in your video. I did watch and do my research, man. And I saw that in the video. It caught me so off guard. So I said, okay, it's already every decade you got to wait on this, but for it to control 675 billion,
At
like
least
Big
that's
B,
a minimum.
at least. Woo, man. Like that's and why is that important? Why who says where that money goes? I guess is like I want people to understand why does that even matter to us? Like, does our count matter to deciding where those resources go, where that money flows to, or does
elected officials in Congress will ultimately help distribute those funds, but they'll use the data calculated or guidance from the census to figure out where the largest need is. So obviously communities with higher populations that have more people that don't have resources need more support. So we want the funds to go to those communities. Now the thing is the money doesn't go away. So let's say people in South Dallas and Pleasant Grove, they don't complete the census, then it's not like the money's going to disappear and go away. The money's just going to be reallocated to a community that had a higher completion rate, whether it's Plano, whether it's Richardson, whatever communities have higher completion rates will have more access and get more money or more funds. So it comes down to two main things if I want to be broad, and that's money and then political power.
Yeah.
So those are two things that I'm not willing to sacrifice or to let loose or let go.
And so those are the main two reasons you would say that's why it matters to our audience. Like, is that why people should care? Because it it determines where the money goes and where
controlling money,
political power. Yeah.
And for me, like the power piece, the political power is even more important to me personally than the actual money. The money is important, but don't forget those people in office. They dictate where it's going ultimately, and they're going to be drawing congressional lines. They're going to be making laws for years to come. Like the census can add.
Yeah.
It's estimated that the census will add 3 to 4 congressional seats for Texas, which that means more electoral votes in the electoral college, and that means more representation in the House. In Washington, we have a better chance to get representation that looks more like us and more diverse representation. So, and not only from a federal level, it will even help determine how many school board trustees or how many city council members or different parts of government as well.
See, and I don't think the average person knows all this, especially not our youth. So I think it's extremely important that because I wasn't thinking about this stuff in high school, and let alone graduating college, which is when our last census was, and I didn't know about it. And so what is different? I'm finding out about it more now, and I know it's because I'm older. So I have more friends who are engaged civically. I have more community leaders in my network, but I still feel like there's something different about this census than years prior. What is so different about this year that it feels like we're making history almost this time?
So I think two things. I'll start with a positive. I should have started with the negative, but the positive is the first time that the census has been able to be done online.
Yes,
so that should
completely.
The amount of people who are completing the census, because honestly, it took me probably 4 minutes, but they say 10 minutes, but it'll take anywhere from 3 to 10 minutes for you to complete it. Even if you don't have the card that came in the mail, there's a little option. I don't have my whatever number it's asking for, and it'll still allow you to complete the census. So with that being said, it's a lot easier than it has been because it's done online. You don't have to call in a hotline or mail it in or wait for somebody to knock at your
quick.
door. You can do the census right now today.
It's quick and easy. Yeah. So definitely making history by being online. Definitely.
Oh yeah, it's definitely making it easier. Now, one of the disadvantages of it also being online is that a lot of communities and a lot of people don't have access. And that's where the nonprofit
True.
community and the community organizations were going to play a role in doing some, census
Absolutely.
events,
That
some canvassing
outreach.
opportunities. But
Yeah.
with outside being closed, we're not able to host those large events that we had planned. So we had census block parties planned from March 28th all the way to July, where we were hosting different block parties in different pockets
Wow.
of hard to count communities once a month, on top of doing pop-ups at
So
other events that other organizations were having. So
yeah.
just having a table.
So now it has
On
to.
top of
Now
doing a
all
social
that
media
shifted
campaign.
to. So that's kind of. So it was going to be in addition to social media campaign. Now it's going to be more mainly social media pop-ups and campaigns, and or do you see it, or hopefully we'll get back to some sense of normalcy where you'll be able to resume those. Especially now, I heard
Right.
the census deadline got extended to, is it like Halloween? Am I
Yeah, it
correct on
is.
that?
It's
Okay.
October 31st. October. I didn't even put that together that was Halloween. But yeah, so that could be a good
But
social media
do you,
campaign. Complete your census. Can be a trick or a treat. Trick if you don't do it, treat if you do it. But yeah,
I like that. I like that. That's a new campaign. We just made it right here. Geek
yeah,
Leagues
right
Esports
here, right
Maths
now.
Class, MentorConnector. Bam,
So
Sean Reed, King David Reed.
I'm not sure if it's finalized yet. Actually, I know the director of the census proposed that. I think, and I could be wrong, but from what I read and what I understand, Congress has to confirm that. But
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's finalized. So this goes for anybody. Anytime somebody's telling you something, do your own research and make sure. But anytime I'm saying something, if I'm not 100% sure, at least a good 97, 98, I like to give that disclaimer so you can do your own research. And,
Absolutely.
check. But to my knowledge, the director
Google.
has proposed that, and Congress has to approve it somehow.
And what is that exactly?
What'd you say?
What is that exactly that you're referring to?
Oh, the October 31st date. Like he's
Okay,
proposed
gotcha,
it, but I'm
gotcha,
not
gotcha.
sure if it's
Yeah.
finalized yet.
Because I did just hear it. So, yeah. I don't know
it-
where it came from. I just heard it. And
it could be finalized. I haven't checked into it since probably 2 days ago. So, but to my knowledge,
man.
it's been proposed and they're pushing
But
for
I mean-
it.
but I mean, you got some more time. You got some more time for some campaigning and some canvassing in.
Yeah. So definitely,
That's
if
it.
we have more time and the curve flattens and we're able to do outside events and host different things, we'd love to go outside and have census events and block parties and do things within the community.
Yeah, man. That's what's about.
If we're
And-
restrained from doing that, then maybe it looks like just canvassing only. It just depends what the CDC recommends. And for those who don't know what canvassing is, it's typically going door to door with information. But to avoid, I guess, contact with people, then maybe our volunteers will only drop the flyers off to remind people to complete the census. Or we don't know what that is yet because we don't know what the stipulations on outside is right now.
Right. And you mentioned something. You did speak on Congress.
I'm scared to cough right now. I don't want y'all to kick me out.
said when I was on Capitol Hill with Congresswoman Eddie Bernice Johnson, shout out to her. She invited me up last year around this time to speak on mentorship and no COVID. Mentorship and its impact on men and boys of color.
I saw that on Facebook. Congratulations. It was a big deal.
Hey.
I was proud to know you.
Hey, man, and same here, man. I appreciate that. I really realized the importance of the census in my conversation with her after I testified for the 116th Congressional Black Caucus, because she was mentioning how this is where they draw and reshape the lines of,
Right.
like, I guess redistricting is what it's called or whatnot.
Right.
But I just didn't realize not only how important that was, but that's what the census was.
Oh yeah, and that's why I
And
say
inclusive
for
of.
me, the political power side is more important. Is extremely important, as the federal funding side.
Yeah.
People are drawing, what districts look like, and if communities don't go out and get counted, they can be drawn out and gerrymandered
Right.
to a way to where it won't be beneficial. Even if majority people voted in an election, won't be beneficial because this population is
It's
not
no
in
longer.
that map,
Ooh,
So
man.
that's big.
And why is that important to you? Why is that? I mean, why is this important overall census? But why is that important to you? Because that sounds like a grave inequity for one,
Yeah.
but definitely it's almost like an intentional.
Yeah, it's very intentional. Whoever controls the Congress at that time has the better advantage. But I think for people in society, I think it's better to give them like a fighting chance and to show some type of
Yeah,
equity and to show some
absolutely.
type of fairness. But if everyday people, um, like, if they knew this portion of the map wasn't in this district, but it's in the same neighborhood, then it may prevent more people from voting. But if we give
Yeah,
people the opportunity to be counted and they redraw the lines to where it's equitable, people may engage more in voting activities and things of that nature. So
absolutely.
I'm just trying to make it easier and fair and more of a level playing field for everybody when it comes to voting and just being engaged.
And then we definitely appreciate that, man. And so would you say that's important to you because of?
What you trying to ask?
Yeah, there's so many questions in that because there's so much inequity involved. But I guess you're making an
Yeah.
active difference in that. So what I really want to know is like, how can I be like Sean? How if I'm a community member who wants to help out with the census, I want to help make sure the people in my community get counted, so that we don't have someone else redrawing our lines or leaving us out of the conversation, the political power representation, the determining where the funding goes. How can I be like you and be more actively involved and make sure that this doesn't happen to our communities, that we don't get left out of the conversation, that we don't get disproportionately represented?
Okay, I think the first thing is educating yourself on what the census is and the importance of it by watching and reading things like
Okay.
this. And then the second thing is like when you're reaching people and talking to people, there's a certain group of people that you have direct contact with and kind of like a direct inspiration over to affect. So
Okay.
by figuring
Yeah,
out
yeah.
using your direct pull, your direct reach, and reaching out to those people and being a strong census ambassador for anything, and then bringing other people to the work too while encouraging and educating communities and just following up. Like I think
Okay.
that's how
Yeah,
you do
yeah.
your part is by sharing a post, by writing your own post. When a message goes out, like all the time, I'll send 20 people a quick reminder to do something just because I know that coming from me, they'll more than likely do it. But we have
Yeah.
more people doing things like that, then a lot of things will get better.
So-
And we'll have more participation. More,
So it's
yeah, go ahead.
more participation, more involvement, more
Involvement,
true engagement. And so you're saying almost like at this stage in our society, especially with the technology and social media that we have access to at our fingertips, literally, we don't really have to do research like in, say, older days where even if you have to Google, you're looking it up and you're looking at websites. It's like now you're saying almost social media. A lot of people may have friends in their network sharing information
right.
about it, and
Yeah.
it's a whole lot easier to access. You really don't have an excuse.
Yeah, there's no large excuse. It's not like you have to do book research and really find out,
Right.
read between the lines and all this stuff. Like there's organizations who've already created great collateral, great graphics that show the 5 largest points of the census, things that it impacts. You can go to
Yeah.
the Dallas-Fort Worth Urban League's Facebook page and look at images that we released, or our Instagram page at DFW UOYP, or
Yeah.
any organizations.
Yeah,
page.
drop all the mad names. Where else should they go? Where else?
Even the city of Dallas has a census page that you can go to.
Okay, y'all, here y'all.
Instead of doing that hard research, looking for flyers of credible sources, like if the NAACP is a credible source for you, or if Councilman Thomas or Mayor Johnson is a credible source for you, find those people who are credible to you. And since they've done the research and you trust them, just share out what they're doing and read what they're doing to educate yourself. Because a lot of this,
Or come to Geek Lee's page, or come to MentorConnector, come to King David Reed's page, follow Sean Reed, any of that, anybody you think you deem is credible.
For sure.
So definitely,
And,
brother.
There's a challenge. I know you didn't ask me, but it just came up right
No,
there.
no,
We talked
please,
about
please.
social media. the census, my Census Bureau partnership specialist sent me a challenge that you can win up to $30,000. So whoever's listening to this,
I did hear about that.
I want to say the date is, they extended the date. It was going to be April 17th, but now it's May 17th or May 11th. But look up the challenge. You can find it on Urban League's page.
And so the challenge is just fill out the census and you get entered into the drawing, or you got to go through a certain.
I wish it was that easy.
So now I'm trying to get a few more coins. It's hard times out here.
You can tell people that I won't. Maybe they'll do it. The challenge is basically record a census video. So all the creative high school seniors, juniors, college students out there who are making TikToks right now, try to incorporate some kind of census information to your TikTok. So the most creative video that gets like incorporating likes, comments,
and the view,
and just creativity and correct information, you receive $10,000. I think the grand prize is larger than $10,000, but they have three $10,000 awards awards, and then a larger one, probably $20,000 or $30,000.
Oh, they're serious about this.
My videos in there to win. I make a disclaimer every time I tell somebody about this competition. Just remember where you got the information from.
Get that small percentage.
To win $10,000. The Urban League is a nonprofit organization. We always accept donations.
There you go.
Tax write-off as well. So
plug a
percentage.
DFW Urban League Young Professionals. Plug. Say CC Sean Reed.
Yeah.
So refer by giving that 5%.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Nice.
2%, whatever. And whatever you guys donate to us, it goes to our programming. And we don't just do census work. We do economic empowerment work. We do health quality of life work. We do professional development work. There's a broad
do it all, man.
area of like things that Urban League touches. And we need funds to continue the work that we do in the community.
Absolutely. Y'all doing great work, man. And we appreciate you, what you're doing in community, what you continue to do, man. And last few questions here, just how would you ensure, or how can we help ensure that everyone gets counted, man?
So one thing I do on a daily basis, and you don't have to be
is it a TikTok?
It's me. But
I got to make a TikTok.
What'd you say?
So do I have to make a TikTok to make sure everybody know?
TikTok, I think that'd be great. You got a good following. Find your niche and do what you can, but stay informed, stay educated. Constantly inform people. Think about people who are not as civically engaged as you, or who don't follow things. The people who are like, often forgotten, people who don't vote, and encourage them. Like if you have cousins, uncles, friends who don't believe in like the political system, like talk to them, get them to do it. I think that's huge. Another thing that I do, if you're like a leader in your community and you want to really make sure that your neighborhood, your community is counted, I go to the census website once a day. I believe at 3:00 they update their response rates with real-time data. The good thing is because the census is online, we can see the real-time data of who's completing it and where we lie. So
I did not know that.
Oh yeah. Go to uscensus.gov and you'll be able to see.
Okay, so that's another website, another resource. uscensus.gov, people.
And then at the top, the main one on your phone, you just hit the little line. And then drop down.
It all pop
up. Like response rates. Like I go into so much, it's like get involved in response rates or something like that. So when you go to response rates, you'll see the national response rate. Last time I checked, the nation was at about 48% response rate, and we want to get to 100 or get as high as possible. And
coming
remember,
soon.
We still have some time to go. Texas was at, I believe, 44%, and then Dallas County. Or Dallas was at 42, like lower than Texas. But then you look at that 42, you can go in deeper and look into particular communities. So I went in deeper and I looked at Plano. Plano had a rate of 56%. Highland Park had a rate like 55, 54. So then I said, let me go look at Pleasant Grove, somewhere in Oak Cliff, and then somewhere in South Dallas. And all three of those communities had response rates of less than 30%. Like one was 27, one was 32, and one was like 20 something else percent. So although Dallas is 42%, it's because the northern part of our city is kind of making the average balance out. But the southern part, the part that needs the most resources and the most help, has a lower level of completion, and that could be because internet like lack of internet access. It could be because people are experiencing real life hardships. Like some people aren't working right now. Some people like this may not be the top priority for a lot of people at home because they're going through their own hardships. Like we don't know why that is, but we have to do our part to constantly remind people that the census is important and that we should complete it because it's not only going to impact our lives for a month or a year like COVID is doing, but it's going to impact our lives for the next 10 years. So make sure we're doing what we need to do. So I always check that. And then what I will start doing in the weeks to come is having my volunteers and my committee reach out to community leaders in South Dallas, in this zip code, in this community, and say, this is where your rate is now. This is where it was last week. Let's try to have some engagement around the census to increase this so we can get it up. Because when that deadline has passed, that's it. Like you just missed the mark, and those funds have moved from South Dallas to another community like, Arlington, Irving, somewhere else. So or even sometimes even another state. So when Texas doesn't get a high percentage rate, like there's a amount, and Councilman Thomas can tell you the exact amount. He's the one who told me, but I'm going blank, that goes to California when we don't complete the census. So, that's why it's important. David, you left?
Yeah. It's so bad, man.
Oh, how long you been gone?
Since you was at Plano.
Plano? Okay, cool. I'm just now looking over.
Damn, it's gonna be alright with that. Gonna be alright with that. Huh? For real? Oh, snap. You been there, block it out. Ooh, man.
This is gonna be edited, right?
All right,
Man, that's
cool.
crazy. That's crazy how things work.
Man, it's that modern technology, man. That thing, I was holding that. Oh man, had my head killing me. All right, Dan, tell us when we can start back. All right, so you're starting at Plano.
He said we got it. Oh, okay, perfect. So yeah, I was talking about just.
Say it one more time, Dan.
Yeah, I didn't look up until I knew you were gone when I got done. I was like, oh.
See, that's why you're supposed to be looking at the camera, son.
I know. I'm trying. It's hard.
It's all good, man.
So
It's all good. Now you doing good, brother. I just had literally like 2 more questions.
Okay, go ahead.
So you explain the whole breakdown then. All right, so we don't need to reiterate that then, Dan? No. Cool. All right, so who would you say has been a great mentor in your life, or who were the mentors in your life that influenced you? Is a question I like to ask. Of course, being here, MentorConnector.
Oh yeah,
part of this Geek League Esports Master Class.
Early on in college or even in high school, growing up, was my cousin Dominique Perkins.
Shout out Dominique.
Like I said, growing up, I didn't have a lot of people doing positive things, but he always had a plan. Was always strategic. Was the first in my family to go to college.
Oh wow!
He's only a few years older than me, but he's inspired me
That's
so
good, man.
much because despite his environment, despite his surroundings, he still
made it happen.
On straight, still did great things, and it kind of let me know, I can do it too.
It was possible.
Within college, I had a few mentors, part of the organization, the Exceptional Man of the Talented 10th, which is
nice.
All-male organization derived from the concept and philosophy of W.E.B. Du Bois.
Yes, sir.
And basically, it's the top 10% of a race, uplifting and educating the other 90% of the race. But I had a lot of mentors throughout that organization. One, Ashton Winfrey, who was in Houston.
Shout him out. So when they watch this, they know you appreciate it.
Calvin Davis, and a bunch of other people in Sam Houston, where I gained a lot of mentors and a lot of support. Like I said, my first mentor out of college was Councilman Casey Thomas.
Shout out to you. Powerful mentor for a lot of us.
But how I was very intentional on how I started communicating with Casey and direct. Like I told you, I knew I wanted to be involved on a city board and somehow help the city. So one of the first things I did is research all the boards and commissions, trying to see who sat what was in
and I was gonna ask if I'm somebody coming out of college and that's something I want to pursue or something I was interested in researching. How did you even go about that? Like, where did you?
I went to the.
How'd you know where to look?
Yeah, I went to the city's website, pulled the list, and I'm a nerd, so I even pulled up like a lot of.
Hey, you at the right place. We're Geek Leaks, my brother.
Yeah. So
Geek athletes
I pulled
here.
Up the minutes of meetings. I was trying to see what they were talking about. I was looking at plans they created, see what progress they made, how long people been on certain things.
Oh man, you for real about this?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out, and I mapped it out. Like, I can see myself doing X, Y, and Z. These are things I want to tackle. But now
impact,
plug, and not trying to say that I used Councilman Thomas for the opportunity because I haven't been appointed to the committee that I want to serve on. But I developed a relationship, an authentic and genuine relationship.
Right, and that's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about.
Instead of me first, he's never heard this story, but instead of me saying, "Hey, look, Casey, can you appoint me to this committee?" I stay in the same district that you represent. We both graduated from the same school. I went about it of a way by naming some commonalities and saying that I was looking for someone to help guide me through this whole process, and then asking him, how can I assist you, or what help do you need? Do you have any volunteer opportunities?
Hey, man, that's a nugget for young people everywhere, man. That's a nugget. And because you volunteered your service. It wasn't about the money for you, and a lot of our youth go out looking for the money. For a lot of millennials, we do the same thing. So can't talk about Generation Z. But we think you're going to go out here and just jump into your high-paying opportunity in a career that you're passionate about. It's like, nah, it doesn't work like that, man.
It doesn't. It works on relationships, and like it has to be a mutual, beneficial relationship.
Yeah, so, offer your services. Yeah, how can I benefit the person that I'm looking to become? That I want to, if I want to be like you, what value can I bring to the table so that you even want me at the table? And that's Charlemagne the God talks about that a lot, man. He talked about it in his book, I know for certain, because he got his opportunity with Wendy Williams. And was working for her the first year and a half for free, just to be in position, just to be on air and get his brand name and recognition up.
Oh yeah. So one of Casey's campaigns I volunteered for.
Nice.
Tried to show him my work ethic. Just followed up with him. Went to events, did things of that nature. He started following me, introducing me to people.
Yep.
By the time the next campaign happened, he hired me as a paid staff person on his campaign over the Get Out the Vote initiative.
Once you put the grind in.
So
you put in the work first, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Roxy talked about the same thing. Now, Casey, him introducing you to people, would you say that was worth what you would have gotten monetarily by the time you volunteered? Would you say that monetary amount you could have gotten was like, compare that to what Casey Thomas did by connecting people, that value?
Yeah, I would say the value of the connections and relationships is worth way more than amount of money that you get in one time. Because the connection and relationship is long lasting, where the money,
everything,
you
come and go.
You could save it for X amount of time, but eventually the money's gonna get spent.
Yes, sir. Here today, gone tomorrow.
Relationship, if you really activate it, cultivate it, and develop it, like, it could be a very long-lasting relationship. And then when you have people,
that's powerful.
I guess, speaking for you and advocating for you in rooms that you don't have access to, like, opportunities would naturally come. And he's introduced me to people, not only him, other people. I was in Senator Royce West's internship program too.
Nice.
So,
he's on our board at Education's Freedom. Shout out Senator West.
He's running for
Root to the Good
U.S.
Brothers
Senate, by the way. So
yeah.
Make
sure go ahead and let him get it in
and vote for one of Dallas's own. He's done a lot for the Dallas community. And the person who currently sits in that seat has done a lot of nothing and a lot of things that hurt us. So I think we need a strong black man who's represented Dallas well in the state Senate and the U.S. Senate too. But both of those.
I was thrown off. I really thought you were gonna say a lot of this one thing over here. So he done a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, he has. John.
Hey man.
John C.
Well, shout out to
speak his name,
shout out to him for being a good seat warmer.
So definitely vote for Senator Royce West. This is
Yeah.
Sean Reed talking, not just me as a person, not me as a
Right.
organizations. But he has an election coming up, so get out and vote for him. But anyway, developing those relationships,
I like him as a
being
person.
introduced to people of boards and people of other organizations, like it just goes a long way, and then you never know what's gonna come from.
And was that how you got connected to DCC, or is that separate? Is that different?
I actually got connected to them not through either of those two people, but it was through some work that I did with the Urban League. So
wow.
I currently professionally oversee a voter expansion program in congressional districts 32 and 24, which is everywhere from about Deep Ellum on up, and then 24 is areas in Arlington.
Oh man,
direction.
So you really about this life? You really about this life? That's what you're saying, basically. In short,
I've done the work for free for so many years.
And I
continue to do it for free. But like when people see how hard you work for just
for
because
free.
Of your passion for free,
yes,
and
sir.
Opportunities to get paid come along. They're like,
yes, sir.
Like this is something.
And you know you're gonna kill it. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I do with mentoring, brother. It hadn't paid for a long time. Been doing it since elementary, but now it's finally opened the door to it, and people are willing to pay far more than I ever would imagine, man. And it's you got to stick to it and be intentional and look for the right mentors, look for the right connections, people to be in your network that you're pursuing them intentionally, right. like you said, like you're building your own network, not waiting for somebody else to come build it for you. So it's like you're demonstrating the best type of management because you're managing your own future.
Right. And that's so important, like having different mentors in different industries for different purposes. Like
absolutely.
If you're religious, having a religious mentor, having someone in the biz, like entrepreneurship, having
man,
it just depends. Having different people you can go to for different situations.
Hey, man.
Experiences that can help you.
I just want you to know that you're destined for greatness, brother. I don't know if you noticed how many celebrity references I keep bringing up because you're triggering quotes, and I study millionaire and billionaire entrepreneurs daily.
Okay.
And so when I hear quotes from people I'm in who are in my network, it literally triggers things that I've been studying. That's my education. If these entrepreneurs said something, then and you say something, it's like, oh man, okay, look, I need to be around this person more. They're thinking on the same wavelength. And you literally just said something that during the first Mayor Star Council, shout out MSC, the Engage Dallas event, the keynote was Mark Cuban, and he was being interviewed by the founder Trey and the mayor and current Mayor Rawlins. And Mark Cuban said something that stood out with me, of course, because it was related to mentorship. And he was telling the audience that you need to be, he said you should never be monogamous with your mentors. Like you should always have a mentor for every area of your life. Like whether it's your marriage or your finances or your spirituality or for your mental health, like, or your business acumen. Like you should have different mentors for different areas of your life. You should never be monogamous with your mentors. And that's basically what you just said, man.
Okay.
So
that means I'm on the right path. I don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Billionaires, just stuff that makes sense in my head from my learned experience. I share out, but I'm glad to know that I'm aligned with some great people.
Absolutely, man. It sounds like you're making the right steps, man. I appreciate you being willing to share that and share with others coming up and trying to be the next Sean Reed, how they can get there. And lastly, I'll just ask, man, what are some of the other projects you're working on and some of your other involvement? Because I know you're doing great things, or at least what can you share? I know you got a lot under wraps. I'm not trying.
I'm working on a lot of things, and sometimes it's best to share things once they're kind of fully developed.
Absolutely.
See some progress. And then sometimes you can't share things because of
you don't want to be wrong. Can't blow the cover.
But one other thing I'm working on, it's coming up real soon that I'd like y'all to join through the Urban League, is the State of Black Texas.
Oh yeah, man! Shout out again, Urban.
That with Houston, Austin chapters. It's gonna be May the 16th. We're still working out a time. It's gonna be virtual.
Okay,
more likely on Zoom, but stream on Facebook as well.
Okay, so where can we find that information? That be the ad name?
Yeah, you can go to the Dallas Fort Worth Urban League's page. It hasn't been sent out yet. We have a lot of things going on. But
always, man. That's what I love about the Urban League.
For sure. End of April, beginning of May, look out for that. It's going to be a great opportunity. We're going to talk about just how COVID has impacted Black people in Texas. Talk about economics, about health, about politics, bring in elected officials, bring in respected business leaders, and just have some
and Urban League's doing most of this via Zoom, like meetups or going live type stuff.
Yeah, Urban League, we're still doing all the work that we normally do. We're trying to maintain a level of normalcy.
As best possible.
It's just done virtually and digitally, mostly through Zoom or Facebook Live, but different online digital platforms that we're using to continue to do the work.
Beautiful.
Because just because we're stuck in the house doesn't mean that people don't, like we're doing this right now, people still need this information. It's still important.
Absolutely.
And, organizations like ours was created for times like this. So we cannot fold in these times and actually kind of amplify, increase what we're doing to encourage and empower people who need it the most.
Absolutely, brother. And we appreciate you doing that. And shout out to Urban League, always doing great events. And the State of Black Texas, I feel like you led something similar on a smaller scale last year. Is this
you were there?
Next level?
Were you there?
Man, I can't recall. I go to so many events, but I feel like
me and some board members, we have an annual conference, the
State
annual
of
Leadership Conference or something like that. I'm wrong, Bim. But we have an annual conference, and a part of that conference we incorporated last year the State of Black Dallas.
We had
John Crusoe, who is also another great person. That's your votes at work. He's doing great things as the Dallas County DA. Glad and proud to have voted for him. And Representative Colin Allred, which is ironic now that I work for expanding his electorate.
Wow.
Back then I was, just reaching out to him to come to
be a part of this.
Now,
see, people don't understand that's how it happens, man.
Mm-hmm.
Just do the work, people. Just do the work. And so you literally from
for something in return, and then
bingo. And so it was just State of Black Dallas last year, and now State of Black Texas.
What did you say?
Now it's State of Black Texas.
Yeah, it is. And that was, I'm not gonna take credit. That was all Bimnet's idea. Bimnet Mashasha, she's our
shout out Bim
president.
Bim, my sister.
We have like a WAPA weekend where the Texas chapters come together and have like just a good old time. We have a conference. We have a big white party. We do a community service event, which this year was going to be at Bonton Farms. So
shout out Bonton, South Dallas. South Dallas.
Yeah, South Dallas. So since we weren't able to do that, we wanted to keep some level or some component of that, and we thought the most impactful and what would make the most sense is keeping the State of Black Texas, and it's the easiest to transform into like an online digital event.
Yeah, man. Love that idea. And did you want to mention anything about the fellowship I know you got, or what you're working on, other projects you're working on, like SBP?
Yeah. Everything else is mainly a collective.
No COVID.
Like, I definitely think that, if any young people out here looking for opportunities to learn and grow as a young professional or just in the community and the work, look for fellowships and opportunities to increase your skill set. A few fellowships that I've been a part of, I'll name like 3 or 4, or maybe 5. I'll try to,
see, you got so much,
3,
man.
Try to do 3. So, SVP, Social Venture Partners.
Shout out Social Venture Partner.
They do
shout out Prisma.
What was that?
Prisma?
Yeah, Prisma.
Yeah, it was my
shout
girl.
Out to Prisma. She's the coordinator.
Shout out Leadership ISD connecting us.
For sure, Leadership ISD, Mayor Star Council. I haven't done Mayor Star Council. I plan on applying.
Got to,
this
man. You
cycle.
got to.
So
Shout out Diana.
Yeah, I don't want you to be out here false claiming for me. That's serious.
Soon,
you're into
soon.
Politics and school board camp. The camp fellowship is good. Another fellowship I'm doing is the National Urban League has a congressional certificate of advocacy.
Goodness
emerging
gracious.
Leaders. There's a bunch of fellowships out here.
So there's a school board. You said a school board fellowship?
Yeah. So there's a organization or a nonprofit or maybe a political PAC called, I'm not sure what they classify it as, called Dallas Kids First. And they
I have seen that.
They have a fellowship program called CAMP, and it stands for Campaign Activity Management Program. But you learn about what the school board actually does from like a policy side. So you study like each of the school board meetings, but you also learn how to run an effective campaign, like a school board campaign. So a lot of times in politics, school board is like one of the, I want to say it's one of the forgotten races. Like school board races are won by 200 people, 150,
yeah,
60,
people don't understand that.
Less than 500.
And the local politics make the biggest difference, make the most impact. Like you can actually have some say so in local politics. It's not like voting for the president. You actually change something in your neighborhood.
Like I know a couple of years ago, DIC had like a $1.7 billion budget, and that's huge, and they can make decisions.
Yeah.
And where things take a while to trickle down from the federal government, the decisions that local elected officials make,
it happened like that,
more directly impact you. So school board
fix the pothole tomorrow.
Council people, the DA within his first 30 to 60 days, he made a lot of changes in his office and things that he's not going to prosecute because he's trying to be smart on crime, not trying to criminalize poverty.
And I respect that.
This isn't I don't want to get too.
Not trying to dive in.
But not trying to get too.
But just local is where you can have the biggest impact, and I don't think a lot of people realize that. But fellowships like that could definitely help them to realize that, but also get in position with the networking that I'm sure you get to experience with that. So definitely thanks for sharing those fellowships, and shout out to all those great organizations, and please plug in with those. That's how you can become like a Sean Reed, man, especially for all you young folk watching this episode here, man. And Sean, brother, I appreciate you. Definitely not trying to take up any more of your time, man. I just am grateful that you came and visited with us to share not only your story and your background and how you got to where you are, but just the different ways that people can engage with the community, and especially through this census and the importance of the census 2020, because I'm just recently finding out how important it is, and I feel ashamed, honestly, and I'm glad that we have people like yourself and the others that are on your teams. And I say teams because he's wearing so many different hats, man, but he's always definitely out front doing the work to make sure more of us know what's going on out here, and that we need to be counted. We need to be represented, and he's doing that on many different fronts through the different organizations that he is involved with. And so definitely appreciate you for all you're doing out here, brother, and look forward to you coming back on here, man, because we're probably going to need another update when we got these other events coming up to let people know about it, and especially we got till October now for the census, but that doesn't mean we're slowing down. That doesn't mean we're slowing down. We just want to make sure people know and stay abreast with what they can do to be involved, especially now since more is going to be online. So certainly appreciate your time, man, and thanks for coming on the show today, man.
Yeah, thank you for the invitation. Thank
Absolutely.
you for everything you do as well. Continue building mentors, strengthening relationships. Like, this is so important.
Absolutely,
I can only imagine like the impact that I had or would have had if I had an active mentor like in middle school and even like early stages of high school. Like, it's so important, especially to kids and or students or young people who come from areas like Pleasant Grove, Oak Cliff.
Yes, sir.
Those who don't have father figures. Like, it's important. Like, if you don't have that, find a mentor to fill those voids and those gaps so you can get everything that you need to get to become a great and good person. So thank you for inviting me. I look forward to coming back and giving you guys updates and information on what's going on in the city. And that's all I got. Thank you again.
Well, thank you for all you gave us, man. And that's exactly what we needed. And we do need more mentors out here like yourself, man, and get to these youth earlier. It takes us all, man. It takes a whole village. So thank you for doing the work that you're doing to let the village know how we all can be more engaged to truly make the biggest difference out here. This has been another powerful episode of Geek Leaks Esports Masterclass, Mentor Connector podcast. I'm your host, King David Reeves. Thank you again to special guest, Sean Reed, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all have a great rest of the day. See you soon. Coming to you live from Geek Leaks Studios.